So, how to get laid when you're broke? I have a bit of experience with this from many years ago. I'd had very little money, and really the best option is going to be online dating because it doesn't cost any money, obviously, and you could spend you could rely on the time that you have, as I assume you wouldn't be working, to meet women. Just make sure you have really good pictures, make sure you hit the numbers, maybe use more than one app. Cold approach is also a good option. It's super difficult. It shouldn't cost you too much to get to a mall, hopefully, or a college or whatever. Clubs and bars, that can work. I mean, you could go really early because there's generally not cover. I guess it can depend, but sometimes there's not cover to go in if you show up early enough. Although better for the most part to go late because that's when everybody's liquored up. That's when you might meet a girl who's more likely to want to go home with a random guy at that point. Your social circle, just like actually thinking like, is there any path? Like actually reflecting and be like, you know what, this girl might like me. I don't know. Or just looking at your friends list on social media. If you've ever had a vibe of a girl that you think might be interested in you, don't be like super direct. Just like hit them up, slide into the DMs, just ask what's up, how they're doing, see their level of engagement. If they seem interested and happy to talk to you, and then like pursue it and keep going forward with it. And I mean, that should be enough. Or maybe your work circle or your social work circle there might be something there. So generally what I've done for my dates, which wasn't even really intentional, but they were fairly inexpensive. The first one, especially because it's like almost all of my first dates that I've been on have been through online dating. And I don't know, a few hours before I'm going to meet with them, I'll just use some random excuse that I can only, be there for an hour and a half or something like that. If I'm meeting for 5 o'clock, I'll be like, oh, I have to go do something for work at 6 o'clock. And that's hugely helpful for the sake of reducing flakiness, because, it is kind of intimidating to meet, or, women to meet guys, or for guys to meet them. Like, dates are kind of scary sometimes. There's a lot of pressure, and if you haven't really gone on many, it's intimidating. So just saying, hey, I only have this much time, and then I got to bounce. They're not going to worry so much about different things. It's just easier for them not to flake. So that's a good one. So what I'm getting at is the cost of your drinks or whatever isn't going to be that much, even if you pay for hers. Most of the girls, I think they had like one drink, maybe two, for the most part. I haven't really paid attention to that, but it shouldn't be too much, although it will, there is some cost there. For the second date, that's really depends on the girl. If I could tell that she's more inclined to hook up, which really depends. I can't say there's any one thing of like, okay, this girl wants to date and she might be a virgin versus this girl just wants to hook up as quickly as possible. But you can actually wrote a post on this. Whatever. If you search signs she has a high body count on Google. I have a post on that. It should be at the top or near the top. But anyways, assuming she's not, assuming she, you have to take things a little bit slower. What I do in that circumstance is go do something fun, like bowling or something. Again, it shouldn't be that costly. I just like doing something fun because it's like more laid back, it's chill, you get to know them, they're more relaxed around you. And then that builds it up towards a third date, which hopefully, depending, for the most part, would hook up by then. So, and it's also like what I'll do. So the third date would be like a Netflix and chill. You can somewhere on the first or second date end up directly or indirectly asking them what shows or movies they like, and then following that up saying, oh, you haven't seen that show or movie. So then you suggest after the second date ends, that, oh, we should watch that. That's like an easy excuse to, set up a third date that's at your house, that's alone or whatever. And that certainly wouldn't cost anything. And that's basically it. You could skip some of them. The second date could still be something fun, like a board game or more traditional date ideas. But you could get creative with this. I don't know if there's some event in your town, maybe a fair, but you want to have at least some money. Hopefully you're not broke, because that could be the difference of getting laid of like $10 or $20. You don't want to be in that position. Maybe something fitness related, a hike or a walk. I don't know. It depends where you live. But that's my system, and it really hasn't changed. It's always been relatively cheap. Even like on the third date, grabbing a bottle of wine or something, sharing it, shouldn't be too much money. Hopefully you can get at least some, and hopefully you can buy condoms and rely on online dating. But anyways, if you have any other tips for that, let me know. Peace.